Bonjour tout le monde. Good day, everyone. Je suis Arpita Gar. I am Arpita Gar. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons étudier les alphabets. And today, we are going to study the alphabets. Before we begin, let me tell you that in French, we have the same 26 alphabets of English, that is from A to Z, okay? The only difference is that the pronunciation differs. So what we are going to do today is that we'll study the pronunciation of these 26 alphabets followed by one example from each. Okay, so the first alphabet is A. And what is the pronunciation of A in French? It is A. And one example is argent. Okay, argent. Argent means money. The next one is B. B is bay. Okay, and one example is ballet. What is it? Ballet. Ballet is a form of dance, and you can see on the screen there are both the English and the Hindi pronunciations of that alphabet written for your better understanding. Next we have is C. It is say. Okay, and one example is chien. Chien means a dog. The next one is D, which is they. Repeat the pronunciations after me. D is they, and one example is dancer. Dancer means a dancer. That's right. The next one is E, whose pronunciation is The sound is getting inside. And one example is enfant. It is not infant, it is in English. In French, we call it as enfant. Enfant means an infant. Okay. The next alphabet which we have is F. The pronunciation is F, same as in English. And one example is femme. Femme means a woman. Okay. So a woman in French is a femme. The next one which we have is G. G is J. Okay. And one example is garçon. So always remember that in French, G is pronounced as J and J is pronounced as G, right? So G is here J, and one example is garçon. Garçon means a boy. The next one is H. It is ash. Okay. And one example is om, not home. Just remember that in French, the sound of H is silent. Okay. So it is om. The next alphabet is I, which is E. Okay. And one example is invitation. Invitation. I-N is A. Okay. And invitation means an invitation. The next letter which we have is J. And as already said, J will be pronounced as G. Very good. So it is G. And one example is jeune. Jeune means young. Okay. Next we have K. K is for. Okay. And example is kidnapper. What is it? Kidnapper. Kidnapper means a kidnapper, right? Next is L. The sound is L, same as in English. And one example from the letter L is livre. Livre means a book. Okay. So a book means livre in French. Next is M, which is M. Okay. And one example is maison. Keep on repeating the words after me also, right? So it is maison, and maison means a house. The next is N, which is N. Okay. And one example is nom. Nom means name. Okay. The next letter is O. The pronunciation is O. And one example from the letter O is orange. Okay. Orange. Orange means orange, which is a fruit. We all know that. The next letter is P, which is pay. Pay means fourth. Okay. The next we have is Q, which is cur. And one example is quel. Quel means what? The next we have is R, which is R in French. And one example is robe. Robe means a dress. Okay. The next letter is S, which is S. And one example is stylo. not stylo. Stylo is in English. In French, it is stylo. And stylo means a pen. Très bien. The next letter is T, which is te. And one example is tele. Repete. Tele. Tele means television. Okay. The next we have is U, which is U in French. And one example is université. Okay. And université means a university. Now we have V, which is way. An example is Ville. Ville means a city or a town. Okay. Next we have is W. W is nothing but 2 times V, right? So it is W. W means double. So it is W. And one example is Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi which we nowadays use. So it is Wi-Fi in French. Next letter which we have is X, and it is X in French. And one example is xylophone. Xylophone, we all know, is a game which we used to play in our childhood, right? The second last letter is Y, which is Y. And one example is ear. Ear means eyes. So these are the just one example which I have written. You can write your own example, okay? And the last letter is Z, which is Z. And one example is zebra. Okay. Now, having learned all these letters, now we'll just give a quick briefing of what we just learned today. Okay. So let us start. You keep on repeating with me. Okay. So we have A, argent. B, ballet. C, chien. Chien means a dog. Bravo. Next we have D, dancer. E, enfant. F, farm. G, garçon. Not garçon, it is garçon. H, homme. I, invitation. J, jeune. K, kidnapper. L, livre. What is livre? Livre is a book. Très bien. M, maison. Maison means a house, right? N, gnome. O, orange. P, port. Port means gate. Okay. Q, quelle. R, robe. S, stilo. T, tele. U, university. V, way, weir. V means a town. Very good. W, Wi-Fi. X, xylophone. Y, ear. And last we have is Z, zebra. Very good. So that was all for today. Thank you. A bientôt.